Winter places a unique stress on the musculoskeletal system. Colder temperatures, reduced daylight, less movement, and even increased inflammation all converge during this season. And for many people, the winter brings increased joint stiffness, muscle tension, even just flare ups of old injuries, and of course, slower recovery times. Hello, everyone. Dr. Rob here for another 10-minute training, practitioner style. Today, we're going to be talking about supporting musculoskeletal health during the winter months. Winter places a unique stress on the musculoskeletal system, and this is really due to several factors. Colder temperatures, reduced daylight, less movement, and even increased inflammation all converge during this season. And for many people, the winter brings increased joint stiffness, muscle tension, even just flare-ups of old injuries, and of course, slower recovery times. So in this training, we're going to explore why musculoskeletal issues worsen in winter, and more importantly, how to support joints, muscles, fascia, and connective tissue holistically this season. We're going to cover circulation, hydration, nervous system regulation, movement strategies, and supportive therapies that work with the body instead of working against it. So let's start with what actually changes in the body during the winter. First, circulation slows. Cold temperatures cause vasoconstriction. This reduces blood flow to muscles and joints. Less circulation means fewer nutrients reaching tissues and slower removal of inflammatory byproducts from the body. Second, movement decreases. People naturally become more sedentary in winter. Like, it's freezing outside, the sun's finally coming out today, so there's a lot less likely going to be people out there walking around. They're going to be hiding inside, right? And this reduced movement leads to joint stiffness, shortened muscles, decreased synovial fluid production, and even dehydration of the fascia itself. And third, hydration often drops too. People drink less water in colder months because they're not feeling as thirsty. And so dehydrated fascia becomes less elastic, and it increases the risk of stiffness, pain, and strain. Finally, the nervous system shifts towards a protective state. Less sunlight, disrupted circadian rhythms, higher stress push the body into a very mild fight or flight pattern. And when the nervous system is guarded, muscles naturally tighten up and recovery slows. So understanding these factors helps us address the root causes rather than just the symptoms. Musculoskeletal health is inseparable from the nervous system. When the nervous system is dysregulated, muscles hold tension, pain signals amplify, healing slows down, and winter stresses like less light, disrupted sleep, increased inflammation, the things we mentioned already, can keep the body in a low-grade defensive state. This supports musculoskeletal health. Therefore, well, I suppose if we want to support musculoskeletal health, it's a tongue twister there, this requires calming the nervous system down. It's not just stretching or strengthening our muscles, right? Simple strategies like consistent sleep timing, gentle breath work, all things we've been talking about here, warmth, parasympathetic activation through microcurrent with the vagus nerve, these all play a crucial role in winter recovery. What about hydration? Again, this is overlooked in many cases of musculoskeletal care. Fascia and connective tissue are water-based. There are a lot of water-bound collagen in there. And when hydration drops, the fascia becomes sticky and restricted, and joints lose lubrication, and muscles fatigue more quickly. So encouraging steady hydration throughout the day rather than large amounts at once actually helps maintain the elasticity of the tissue itself. Adding minerals, this can further support nerve signaling and muscle relaxation too. Winter is an ideal time to incorporate warm fluids, broths, herbal teas. These can support hydration, often in many ways of the same amount as water can, while also promoting circulation and relaxation, and in cases of like bone broths, gut health too. Now, winter movement, where do we go from here? This should focus on circulation, on mobility, and consistency, not intensity. Key principles here: move daily, even briefly. Prioritize joint mobility over strength gains, and use gentle rhythmic movement as well. Activities like walking, light resistance work, mobility flows, and stretching help maintain the synovial fluid in joints, and this prevents stiffness. Warming up thoroughly is very important too if you're going to go and do anything to reduce injury risk. Now, if you're looking at this from a microcurrent perspective, I would certainly recommend things like mitochondrial recharge. Naturally, this is going to increase circulation to the areas of the body that get it least, the hands and the feet, and everything along the way. So the extremities become less likely to be injured and they get that increased circulation. You can kind of not completely cut out movement, but it can help a lot to substitute for that. And if you're struggling with the lack of the outside, doing grounding instead will have a similar effect. It's all any microcurrent does is increase circulation regardless of the frequency. Some just do it better than others. Now, supportive modalities can be very particularly helpful in winter. So the therapies I just talked about here, vagus nerve stimulation, grounding, mitochondrial recharge, this can help improve circulation, it can calm the nervous system down, and it can help tissues heal more effectively. Getting that increased circulation in there is huge. Consistency matters more than intensity as well. Regular, gentle support yields better results than aggressive long-term treatments. So it's always about habituation, creating some sort of pattern for yourself that's going to help you heal. Warmth-based approaches, soft tissue work, and combine this with these frequency therapies can really help maintain tissue pliability and comfort as well. Now, winter is an inflammatory season for many people too, so don't forget about the inflammation control. Adequate protein is required for tissue repair. Healthy fats will reduce inflammation, and minerals will support body's muscle and nerve function as well. You need these things to maintain the integrity of the musculoskeletal system. So encouraging warm, nutrient-dense meals supports digestion and reduces the inflammatory stress. And you really want to make sure you're avoiding these inflammatory foods as well. It's really easy to step it over the line here in the winter months with excess sugar and the ultra-processed foods that people tend to have at little gatherings and parties. So to support musculoskeletal health during the winter, we really need a multi-layered approach. You want to maintain circulation through daily movement, support that hydration and connective tissue elasticity, calm the nervous system, use warmth and use microcurrent gently but consistently, and provide that nutritional support for repair and inflammation control. When we work with the body's seasonal needs rather than push against them, winter can become a time of maintenance, repair, and preparation rather than pain and decline. So that's about it for today, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's training. Supporting musculoskeletal health in winter is not about doing more. It's simply about doing the right things consistently. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next week for another 10-minute training. Bye-bye.